Good afternoon and a very warm welcome. Thanks very much for tuning in. You're watching Times Now Live. My name is Amita Wadhwa and these are the headlines. Howrah witnesses violent scenes of trail of destruction after the yatra that was witnessed on the occasion of Ram Navami. Tense situation in Howrah continues after clash was reported as the BJP and the TMC continue to trade charges. Violence erupts in Bihar, Sasaram and also in Nalanda during Ram Navami celebrations. One person shot ahead of the Union Home Minister's visit. Crackdown on stole tenters also continues in Shambaji Nagar as 10 accused rioters have been arrested for attacking a police station. The US state of Georgia has passed a resolution against Hinduphobia, becoming the first US state to move such a resolution. Huge embarrassment for Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who saw details of the Prime Minister's educational qualification, has now ended up with a fine of 25,000 rupees. Manish Sisodia to remain in judicial custody as the Delhi court denies bail in the Delhi excise scam. Court says enough evidence to keep Sisodia in custody. Manhunt for Amritpal enters day 15 as new CCTV footages emerges of Amritpal's aide Papalpreet from Hoshiarpur. Rajasthan Chief Minister assures justice to the 2008 Jaipur serial blast victims after he said his Sarkar will now approach the Supreme Court. Well, top of the hour, let's get you the development as far as in the United States of America. Georgia has now become the first state to identify Hinduphobia. There is no denying it anymore as far as Hinduphobia is real. Not just Hindu groups and research groups, but now even in the Georgia Assembly in the US, that has now passed a resolution condemning Hindu hate. This resolution comes a year after India had asked the UN to ensure that Hinduphobia is also included in all official documentation. The past year also seen several violent attacks on Hindu temples and their symbols across the UK, Canada, Australia, even in Bangladesh. And this assault on Indian traditions, on Hindu traditions, that has been going on both online and offline as well. Now the legislators in Georgia found the need to officially note and condemn it. This is exactly what it goes on to say. Let's put that out as far as the documented instances of hate crimes against Hindu Americans in the last few decades that is being identified. Hinduphobia that is being institutionalized by some in the academia, and there are some who continue to support dismantling of Hinduism and accuse its sacred text of violence and oppression. Hinduism, that is one of the largest and oldest religions with over 1.2 billion adherents, which encompasses an array of diverse traditions and belief systems as well. Hinduism, which is based on values of acceptance, mutual respect and also peace, and Hindus have major contributed to several areas, whether be it medicine, science and engineering, etc. Even the contributions to yoga, Ayurveda, food, music, arts, and that has enriched the cultural fabric. Now, these are the widely adopted in American society and have enhanced the lives of other people as well. That remains to be seen exactly when it comes to the identification and the acceptance of Hinduphobia at large. How is it taken worldwide?
New phobias, hatred or bias against other major religions of the world need to be fully recognized. The emergence of contemporary forms of religious phobia, especially anti-Hindu, anti-Buddhist and anti-Sikh phobias, is a matter of serious concern and needs the attention of the UN and all member states. It is only then can we bring greater balance into our discussion on such topics.
Well, Pranesh is with us right now. Pranesh, good afternoon. This is also coming at a time when there is a significant increase in attacks, and also how conveniently it is dismissed by a certain ecosystem who continue to taunt and say कि Hindu khatre mein hai. Well, that is a reality and needs to be accepted.
You know, let's just begin by saying that all those people who think that Islamophobia is real, Islamophobia is genuine, how can those be in denial about hate against Hindus? Anti-Hindu bigotry. We've seen the ugly face of anti-Hindu bigotry, not just in India, but, you know, at the cost of repeating myself, Amita, we've seen what has happened in UK, in Leicester, Birmingham, in parts of Canada, and this has been happening over and over again. There is a pattern to this, and look what's happening within our country. violence on Navratri, violence on Ram Navami. It is happening in our neighborhood in Bangladesh. Temples are vandalized. It happens in Pakistan, has been happening in Pakistan for over the last 4 or 5 decades. Hindu places of worship are vandalized. So there is a pattern to this, and it is only now that the world is slowly waking up to the reality. But now that Georgia has taken a stand, and a right one at that, by saying that, look, this is real, so let's not be in denial about it. The reaction, at least on social media from the ecosystem, is already that, let's just dismiss this as propaganda. There is no such thing called as Hinduphobia. Now the question to all these people who are in denial is to ask them to describe what is happening in the countries that I just mentioned. What would they call it? If a Hindu place of worship is vandalized, when idols are, broken, defiled, what would they call it? Is it not Hinduphobia? What is the other word for it? How should one describe it? So now that this resolution has come, we will have to see how this is taken up by other countries, by other stakeholders, remember, and which is why we were playing that reaction. And this is top Indian diplomats saying at the biggest global stage, at the United Nations, that look, Hinduphobia is genuine. It's time we acknowledge it, and it is only after we acknowledge it that we can take corrective measures. Amita?
Absolutely, Pranesh. Thank you very much for that detailed update, because what we are also going to talk about, that it is not just the legislators in the United States that seem to be highlighting the concerted targeting of Hindus globally. This is a US-based scientific research organization also saying that there is a dangerous hybridization of Hindu hate against the community, citing increasing attacks on them in the US and other parts of the world as well. Now, the network that the research institute says there has been a growth of over 1,000% of anti-Hindu slurs, creating a toxic atmosphere of hostility as well. This is something that needs to be addressed at the earliest. Joining us here on the broadcast as we extend this debate, Mr. Vinod Bansal, the national spokesperson of the VHP, and Mr. Ahmed Ayaz, political analyst, both of them joining us with us here on the broadcast. Good afternoon to both of you. Vinod Bansal ji, agar hum kahe क्या तुम हिंदू हो और तुम्हारे अगेंस्ट अगर हेट अगर इतना बढ़ता हुआ जा रहा है, तो इस इशू को एड्रेस करने की बहुत आवश्यकता पड़ जाती है सर. ये यूएस की एक स्टेट ने अगर ये पहला कदम लिया है सर, आपको लगता है कि पूरी दुनिया को इसे एक्नॉलेज और एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए?
डेफिनेटली. देखिए, जिस तरह से हिंदुओं के विरुद्ध जो है विस्ममन हो रहा है, और आप देखिए, आपको श्रोता दर्शक जानते हैं कि ये जो जॉर्जिया का जो रेजोल्यूशन है, वो किसी हिंदू ने नहीं पुटअप किया, किसी हिंदू सांसद विधायक ने वहां पर टेकअप नहीं किया. ये दिस रेजोल्यूशन वाज अडॉप्टेड एंड इनिशिएटेड बाय द लॉरेन मैकडोनल्ड एंड टॉड जोन्स. आप देखिए, उनका हिंदुत्व से क्या लेना देना, लेकिन फिर भी उनको पता है कि जिस तरह से यूएस एंड वर्ल्ड ओवर जिस तरह से हिंदूफोबिया को फैलाया जा रहा है, और दूसरी तरफ जो है यूएन असेंबली जो है इस्लामोफोबिया के फेवर में रेजोल्यूशन पास करती है, ये दोनों के बीच में एक बहुत बड़ा विरोधाभास है, जबरदस्त. और ये इसको जो है ना जॉर्जिया के इस असेंबली ने एक्सपोज कर दिया कि किस तरह से जो है ना वर्ल्ड की कुछ कंट्रियां मिलकर के हिंदू फोबिया से जो है वो उसको एक्सप्लोर कर रही हैं. आप देखिए किस तरह से हिंदू के विरुद्ध जो है विस्ममन किया जा रहा है, जबकि दुनिया को पता है कि सर्वे बंधु सुखना सर्वे संतु निरामया की बात करने वाली बात हो, या फिर वसुदेव कुटुंबकम की बात हो, या सबको साथ लेकर चलने वाली बात
वही बात हो जाती है कि ऐसी नजर से देखा जाता है ऑटोमेटिकली कि अगर कोई कहे कि मैं हिंदू धर्म को मानने वाला हूं या हिंदू धर्म को फॉलो करता हूं. अहमद अयाज साहब, हमने ये तब भी देखा था 9/11 के बाद कि किस तरीके से इस्लामोफोबिया को बढ़ावा दिया गया था. अब काफी साल बीत चुके हैं सर, अब इतना उसमें डर पैदा कर दिया कि बाकी कम्युनिटीज टारगेट होने लग गई हैं, और उनमें से जो सबसे पहले आते हैं, अगर जो हुआ द फॉलोअर्स ऑफ हिंदुइज्म, बिकॉज वी हैव सीन रैम्पेंट वैंडलिज्म आल्सो टेकिंग प्लेस अगेंस्ट द फॉलोअर्स ऑफ द फेथ, सर.
See, the Georgia resolution is perhaps in the backdrop of the Texas attack which has taken last. And well, as a general principle, we should not, appreciate any religious place being attacked, whatever it is. To whom it belongs to. But the point is the Georgia resolution, I wonder why it's being done selectively. You see, it's not the only one case where By this, I never mean that the temple should have been attacked.
No, but Mr. Ayaz, would you accept and acknowledge Hinduphobia is real, sir, and is dangerous? Would you accept and acknowledge, sir?
Religion, the temple being attacked.
No, but would you accept and acknowledge, sir?
Numerous cases of other communities also. And there had never been a religious resolution passed.
No, sir.
By Georgia saying that this is Islamic phobia or any other phobia or any other community.
But sir, what about the upward trend that is being witnessed on the attacks against Hindus, sir? Because Vinod Bansal ji, बाकी अन्य जो देश है ना वो freedom of speech and expression कहते हैं सर, लेकिन हमने देखा है किस तरीके से बार-बार अगर मंदिरों में अटैक हो रहा है तो एक्शन ऑन ग्राउंड नहीं लिया जाता, और एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो बढ़ावा ही मिलता है। अगर एक्शन जब तक नहीं लिया जाता तो हम देखते हैं एक के बाद एक मंदिरों पे किस तरीके से हमले होते जा रहे हैं सर।
अमिता जी, 2-3 बातें बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण है इसमें। ये जो लोग टीवी चैनल की डिबेट में आकर के बड़ी चिकनी चुपड़ी बातें करते हैं कि हिंदू फोबिया हम नहीं मानते, और दूसरी बात ये मंदिरों पर अटैक नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन जब अटैक हो जाते हैं तब ये किस बिल में घुस जाते हैं ये पता नहीं लगता एक्चुअली इनको। दूसरी बात ये भी आप देखिए कि जिस तरह से वर्ल्ड ओवर आप देखे हैं कि हमारे हिंदू मंदिरों पर अटैक तो बहुत जगह हुए। क्या किसी ने ये देखा है किसी हिंदू ने किसी मुस्लिम या किसी क्रिश्चियन के पूजा स्थल पर अटैक किया हो? नेवर, इट विल नेवर हैपन ऑल्सो। मैं कहना चाहता हूं, देखिए हिंदुत्व की यही तो खास बात है कि वी बिलीव इन दी वसुदेव कुटुंबकम। हम सबको एक मानते हैं, हर एक व्यक्ति के अंदर भगवान का अवतार देखते हैं, भगवान का अंश देखते हैं।
इसी डिसइंफॉर्मेशन कैंपेन को विनोद जी, मेरे पास समय अभी बहुत कम रह गया। आयास जी, आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। बट दिस इज द वेरी सेम डिसइंफॉर्मेशन कैंपेन दैट नीड्स टू बी एड्रेस्ड एज फार एज द हिंदू कम्युनिटी, स्पेशली the larger Hindu community that has been staying abroad, often has come to the end of target as far as several other issues that talk about phobias, especially when it comes to Hinduphobia, that we have seen an upward trend on the attacks on mandirs that has been seen in different countries across the world. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on the broadcast. Let's